Hola a todos, soy Pamela, la compañera profesora de ESL 1. Estoy feliz de verte otra vez. Hoy vamos a repasar las lecciones de la semana pasada y te presentaré un nuevo vocabulario y una nueva lectura. Okay, we're back. It's our second week, and we're ready to practice what we learned last week and learn some new words this week, some new vocabulary and a new reading. Are you ready to get started? ¿Están listos? Empecemos. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Oops, let's see, this is not helping. From beginning. La tema es igual. ¿Quién eres tú? Who are you? ¿Cuál es tu profesión? What is your profession? So, let's go ahead and review from last week. We talked about singular subjects and the plural subjects and the use of the verb ser, to be. So, what does this look like? Let's follow the cursor and practice. If I said yo soy, in English you say I am. Tú eres, you are, él es, he is, ella es, she is, usted es, you are. This is the same as tú eres. They're the same in English. What about nosotros somos? We are. Nosotras somos. We are the same. Ellos son. They are. Ellas son. They are the same, igual. And ustedes son. You all are. So that's what we learned last week. We practiced that. Let's move on and practice some sentences. Let's read this together, shall we? I am learning English. Very good. You are smart. He is working at a new job. She is an engineer. We are from the same country, and they are my family. Very good. We practiced that last week. We were practicing it today. We'll do it again next week. But that is a basic sentence describing yourself. Who are you? I am. That's how you respond in English. Let's add something new to today's lesson. Let's add some verbs. We looked at adjectives last week, remember? This week we're going to practice with some verbs. Next week we'll try to put it together with some bigger sentences. So this week we're going to talk about present tense verbs that show action that is currently going on in the present. When we do this, we're going to add an S to the verb when the subject of the sentence is he, she, or it. Now, this area down here on my screen, that's what we're talking about. We add the S to the verb when we use it with the singular subject pronoun of he or she. So let's start from the beginning to see what this looks like. If I use the verb walk, andar, this is what it would sound like throughout the various pronoun usages. I walk. Yo ando. You walk. Tú andas. He walks. Él anda. She walks. Ella anda. We walk. Nosotros andamos. And they walk. Ellos andan. Ellas andan. Or ustedes andan. They walk. That's how we say that. Very good. Let's look at another verb. Now, these are regular verbs. These are not irregular. We're going to use them in the basic format for conjugating verbs. If I decided to use the verb drive, manejar, let's see what that looks like. I drive. You drive. He drives or she drives. Now, do you see how that changed? We added an S in this format. When you're speaking of he or she, we're going to add the S to the verb when using it in the present tense. But if I said we drive or they drive, the drive stays the same. The conjugation of the verb drive stays the same. It only changes when we use it in the he or she form. Okay, so now let's go ahead and practice with some new verbs. They're all regular. They're all going to follow the same format. I have a list of verbs here that we'll talk about. I'm going to introduce you to a few. If I said responder, in English, we say answer, answer. If we said preguntar, ask, ask. Llamar, call, call. Cocinar, cook, cook. Limpiar, clean. Ayudar, help, help. Gustar, like, like. Escuchar, listen, listen. Vivir, live, live. Comprar, buy, buy. Necesitar, need, need. Jugar, play, play. Empujar, push, push. Empezar, start, start. Usar, use, use. And the last one, manejar, drive. Good, good practice. Now remember, this up here is a link to a resource that you can do this free. It doesn't cost money to get on this website. It's called Quizlet. You can see on my screen. That link will take you to a list of verbs. There they all are. They have pictures for you to use to help you remember the word. Please, please try to get on here and practice on here. It gives you all the words, and there's more on my page that you can use to it's different activities that you can practice with. But when you get on here, if you use the flashcard right here, flashcard, this is a flashcard right here. So we press on it. It shows you the word in Spanish, trabajar, and you click on it. In English is right next, work. And then you use the arrow at the bottom to do the next one, escuchar, listen, limpiar, clean. See how you get to practice on this resource? It's a great resource. You can just click on it. You can get on this with your phone, or if you have a computer, you can put Quizlet in there. I know in the comments of the YouTube page or on Facebook, they're going to have the links for these resources for you to practice. It's really a great game practice activity for you to build your vocabulary. So let's go back now to our PowerPoint. Those are all the verbs. Now what I want to do is I want to practice using the I forms, or the different forms of the pronouns. We're going to start with I, and we're going to add a verb to it to use. And we're going to practice some reading as we go along. So I'm going to read it, And you're going to tell me which is the correct form that fits in the blank. For example, I drive to work every day for my job, or I drives to work every day for my job. Which one do you think? Good. I drive to work. I cook dinner each night for my family, or I cooks dinner each night for my family. Yes, it's cook. I buy groceries at Kroger on Saturday mornings, or I buys groceries at Kroger on Saturday mornings. Buys, good. I live in a house on Taylor Street with my 3 children, or I lives in a house on Taylor Street with my 3 children. Live, good. And finally, I work at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky, or I works at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Good. I work. Very good. All these are in the basic form of the verb. There is no S because we're using the I form. Let's try the next one. You drive to work every day for your job, or you drives to work every day for your job. Drive. Let's do the next one. You cook dinner each night for your family, or you cooks dinner each night for your family. Cook. You buy groceries at Kroger on Saturday mornings, or you buys groceries at Kroger on Saturday morning. Buy. You live in a house on Taylor Street with your 3 children, or you lives in a house on Taylor Street with your 3 children. Live. And the last one, you work at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky, or you works at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Work. Very good. But let's change it now. Look at this. He and she. Didn't we say when we have this form of the pronoun, we're going to be adding an S to that verb? So, he drive to work every day for his job, or he drives to work every day for the job? Drives. See how you can hear it? It changes it, doesn't it? How about she cook dinner each night for her family, or she cooks dinner each night for her family? Cooks. She buy groceries at Kroger on Saturday morning, or she buys groceries at Kroger on Saturday morning? Buys. She live in a house on Taylor Street with her 3 children, or she lives in a house on Taylor Street with her 3 children? Lives. And the last one, she work at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky, or she works at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky? Right, works. Now notice all these verbs have an S because we're using the he and she form of and when we do, we add the S to the verb. All right, let's do 2 more rounds of practice. Let's try with we. We drive to work every day for our job. Very good. We cook dinner each night for our family. Very good. We buy groceries at Kroger on Saturday mornings. We live in a house on Taylor Street with our 3 children. And last one, we work at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Love it. That's great. Our last pronoun use is they. That's the last one. Ellos, ellas, they. So one more time. They drive to work every day for their job. They cook dinner each night for their family. They buy groceries at Kroger's on Saturday mornings. They live in a house on Taylor Street with their 3 children. And the last one, they work at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Whew, that was a lot, but that's a good practice for you to practice with verbs that are regular and go through that list. Make sure to practice on Quizlet over some new verbs so you can add those to your vocabulary and practice reading that. Okay, speaking of reading, it's time to read one of our lessons. And I thought I'd present to you La lectura de hoy is the Lin-Manuel Miranda. I don't know if you've ever heard about him, but he is a famous Broadway star. Let's see, in Spanish I have La lección de lectura de hoy es sobre Lin-Manuel, un famoso actor, escritor y compositor latino de Broadway. Su trabajo más reciente se llama Hamilton. Es puertorriqueño y vive en Nueva York. So this is Lin-Manuel. He's all over social media. His Broadway show is Hamilton. And I found a really great reading that I want to present to you today. Let's see, let me move my screen here a little bit. I want to present this to you today because it's a good practice to keep reading, to introduce you to more vocabulary. And I have our vocabulary in the story in green, but I just remembered I need to introduce you to the vocabulary first. So here is the vocabulary for today's reading. If you see the word neighborhood, that's a vecindario. So that's neighborhood. Success, éxito. Inspired, inspirado. What about cast? Cast in español is elenco, the people who were in the play. Tony Award. A Tony Award is un premio de Broadway. It's a very big honor. And finally, to encourage. Encourage in español, fomentar. So those are our vocabulary words that we're going to look at in today's reading about Lin-Manuel. And I'm going to read it with you. Remember what we do. I have my cursor here in green. If you see it on the screen, follow along with me to practice some of your reading, to introduce you to new words, and we will wrap up our lesson. All right. We're going to start from the beginning. I'll go very slowly. There's a million things I haven't done, but just you wait. Just you wait. This line is sung by Alexander Hamilton in Lin-Manuel Miranda's famous Broadway musical, Hamilton. Lin-Manuel Miranda is a successful writer, actor, rapper, and composer. Miranda was born in New York City to Puerto Rican parents. He grew up in Inwood near Washington Heights, two majority Hispanic neighborhoods in Manhattan. From an early age, he loved music and rapping. He performed during school and went on to study theater at Wesleyan University. At Wesleyan, he started writing In the Heights, a musical about a neighborhood like the one he grew up in. This musical blended hip hop and salsa and became a hit on Broadway. Little did Miranda know that there was still more success to come. Okay, next page. On vacation in 2008, Lin-Manuel Miranda got inspired while reading a biography about Alexander Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton was one of the founding fathers of America. Hamilton was born on a small Caribbean island and immigrated to America. He quickly became an important figure in U.S. history. Hamilton started the first national bank and helped fight to adopt the Constitution. Lin-Manuel Miranda saw Hamilton's story as a classic American dream story. He saw that Hamilton rose up against all odds to become successful. Miranda began writing Hamilton, a musical about the founding father that combined rap, music, R&B, pop, and musical theater styles. His cast for Hamilton was full of people from all different backgrounds. It became a huge hit. It won 11 Tony Awards, including Best Musical. The Tony Awards recognize excellence in live theater, Broadway theater. Lin-Manuel Miranda continues to support his Puerto Rican community. After Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, he decided to go to the island and perform Hamilton. He wanted to encourage people to visit Puerto Rico and support the people whose lives were affected by Hurricane Maria. He even started a nonprofit in Puerto Rico to support the arts. Miranda continues to share his many talents with the world. He has become an important figure in the Latino community and far beyond. You did it! We just read together all of that. That's great. I'm so proud of you. So this story is about Lin-Manuel Miranda. This is a picture of Hamilton. It's a famous Broadway show right now, and I just find it entertaining. I think it's interesting. Notice when it said here, it became a huge hit. Hit, pagar, right? To hit. A hit means that it's something very popular, like it made it big. So I just wanted to explain that part of the sentence to you because it's sometimes English words can have a certain meaning but mean something else. So if it was a huge hit, that means it became very famous. And Lin-Manuel is very famous. Anyway, I have seen Hamilton. I love it. My children loves to sing the music. It's a wonderful show. Okay, now we have done some vocabulary with this. We've done our practice with the verbs, and we're done. That's the end of lesson 2 today. You've done a great job. I'm so proud of you. We've learned new vocabulary and we've practiced with present tense regular verbs. So next week, we will practice with past tense regular verbs and we'll have some more new vocabulary. And we'll also practice from what we've learned in the past. It was good to see you today. Thanks for coming. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.